Howl's Moving Castle by this lady who writes a bunch of fantasy books. And this is me talking about it. Now, brief summary. There's this little hatter girl who gets cursed by a witch to become a really old lady. So she's a really old lady now. And she goes up to this castle where there's a wizard. And the wizard's all going to be like, I eat the souls of little girls. So she's like, maybe this wizard shouldn't break my curse. But then she meets a fire demon who's like, I can break your curse if you break mine. So like, hooray. And he's like, how to break your curse? And he's like, figure it out. You got a month. So that's what this book is about. Their adventures on the moving castle while she's trying to break his curse and he's trying to break her curse all the time, not letting the wizard of the castle figure it out, because then he'll eat her soul, because that's what young wizards do. Eat girl souls. Duh. This is my third time trying to record this. Worse! My camera keeps on dying because I didn't have enough recorded time, which means I was probably recording for way too long anyways. What did I say something about this? Oh yeah, most of you know this book because of an anime adaptation by Hayao Miyazaki, which was made a little bit ago. And it was really fun. I liked it a lot. And one of the reasons I picked up the book, because brilliant animation and amazing little storyline. And of course, book-movie comparisons are like, well, what was the differences? It pretty much hits the book hits every aspect the movie does, and the movie follows the book pretty closely. Of course, the anime is like brilliantly colored because it is Hayao Miyazaki, and that's sort of what he does with his little studio. But more than that, more than talking about the book, I want to talk about adaptations, because I know a lot of people always do that book to movie comparison, and to be honest, it sort of bothers me because I think that sort of goes against the word adaptation. I think adaptation is when you take like a small aspect of one work and extrapolate it or make it more specific in a different work. That's sort of like what Neil Gaiman does in a lot of his stuff. When he made his movie Mirror Mask, he wrote a different little kind of graphic novella on the same movie except that he wrote, but he wrote it from a different character's point of view. And that's one of the reasons that my favorite like musical type movie is Jesus Christ Superstar. It takes this really well-known story of Jesus Christ, so close to Easter, and tells it from the point of view of Judas, where you get to see everything you know happen, but from a different person's perspective, and also without like all the miracles and stuff. Which is why when a lot of people were like, "Man, Harry Potter the movie was nothing like the book," when I watched it, I was like, "Hey, why isn't this more different than the book?" An adaptation should, in my opinion, be a different work, because it's a new medium. The medium of film is completely different than book. So someone should have really like put in the effort to make Harry Potter like different and more expressive on film, or at least took a lot of the stuff in the books out, if only for brevity that is film. And I know a lot of you are like, they did take a lot out, but it's not supposed to be like the exact same thing as the book. If you want the book, you read the book. The movie should be someone else's take on it. And I know a lot of the little anime kids are like completely against anime called One Piece that was translated into English. But the thing is, they took the show in Japan meant for like teenagers and dubbed it for children. So I thought that was brilliant. They did a really good job. They actually put effort into it. And I think that's what adaptation should be. If you watch a movie and it's like page for page the book, well then someone didn't try very hard or care when they made that movie at all. They didn't really see like how maybe we can do this differently or do this differently. And that's the point of adaptation. A great adaptation is Princess Bride. If any of you have read the book, you'd know it's a lot more adult themed. They definitely like 16 and above kind of age range, but when they made the movie, they definitely made it for kids. They definitely took out huge portions of the book to make it more child-friendly, and that was great. They took one great story and changed the point of view to something way more innocent. And I think that's what adaptation is, and I think that's what brilliance is, and that's sort of what I want to do as a writer. To take a story that everyone knows and change it and say, this is the way I see it. And more than that, say, this is the way I see it as a comic, and this is the way I see it as a film, and this is the way I see it as a TV show. Because I gave up on the pursuit of writing something completely original when I was really young. But I grew up in a way no one else has ever grown up. No one has my exact life. I am very British Columbian. I am very 80s baby. I am very grew up in the 90s. And there are lots of people that 80s, 90s, October, BC, but there aren't too many of us, and there aren't too many of us that want to be a writer and tell stories. So my perspective on the universe is unique, and I sort of want to share that when I make film and when I talk about movies and when I talk about everything. And that's sort of why I want to go into the writing industry, which is why stuff like this. Should you read the book if you watch the anime? Of course. Should you watch the anime if you read the book? Sure, because they're different perspectives and they're trying to touch different aspects of the same story. The story is separate from the book or the movie. The story is just something you tell. The way you tell it, like the medium, the book, the comic, the radio show. I love radio shows, by the way. I think they're a brilliant medium that's dead. I want to do more radio shows. Anyways, the medium is the important part. So, next time you see an adaptation or think, man, should I read the book? Yeah, do it, because it's not supposed to be the same thing. And if they turn out to be the same thing, well, someone was being really lazy. And that's the book I want to talk about. I talked very slightly about the book. It's great. Kid fantasy. I love it. Read it if you like kid fantasy. If you're okay with animations, watch the anime. I know a lot of people. I've found a lot of people that just can't do cartoons, which is why books exist. Bye. Ugh. I hate when you do that, Cam. Look. A picture of calf right